What advice could you give to an aspiring educator trying to navigate this idea of being their authentic self, but also feeling suffocated in the professional image of what they think they should be versus their authenticity of who they are?
It's a very good question. I would say it goes back to professionalism. You have to recognize as an educator that you have a captive audience of impressionable people, and you are a representation of whatever they think you are as an individual. Everything you say, everything you do will be how they will then generalize everyone else who looks like you. Because I was like, any bald-headed black man, I want my kids to think of me first. That they, first was they think of, until they get to open their mouths and talk, I want them to think about me first. So if they think about me first, and they're thinking about all the things that I am, that won't put this next person that they don't know in a box, right? If anything, it'll elevate them because I'm showing them such a dynamic view of who I am that they won't just generalize, right? So what I tell anyone, no matter what you look like, you're the only you that exists in front of these children. But you also represent an automatic reference point for anyone else who may remind them of you, right? So you, in everything that you say and everything that you do, you're either building a bridge, or you're building a wall. If you are, as a women in most cases, because education is filled with women dominate the field, and women in the home and so on and so forth. There's so many varieties of women that they're going to come into contact with, but all students would the first woman that they think of is their mothers, right? So and an authoritative figure for them as a child is their mother. So they're getting their mother all day, as far as they're concerned. There's different shades of their mother, right? And it's how that mother figure as a teacher shows up in her individuality that makes her impressionable in a good way or a bad way. So you must be very conscious of the person that you want ingrained in their brain, that they would learn from and that they would want to connect so that they can learn and grow themselves. So every word that you're saying, you're creating a brand for yourself over and over again with these children, with anyone that you step into the position with. So you have to be very aware of you. You have to be aware of you. Although I was in a position where I was forced to be aware of me, you still have to be aware of you, whether or not you're in a room full of a whole bunch of black bald men, or you're in a room full of everyone who looks like you, or a room that you think the demographics are the same. You're still the only you that exists on this earth, and you must take that into account in such a way that you recognize the importance of you showing up, because you have to understand that professionalism doesn't take away from your individuality. You are a professional because you need to be. You have to be an objective professional, a fair person, because you're working in front of children who are impressionable, and you being biased, you being unprofessional, you're putting little marks on their hearts that's going to be forever popping up again when they think of the things that you're saying or doing in any other space in their lives, because this is an impressionable time for them. So it's about how you want to make an impression forever with these kids. It's not a sometimes, it's forever. How are you going to forever make an impression on kids because of the job you hold? You hold a very important position, and so you have to show up. You have to show up, but you must be professional in all of the things that you do. You can very well be yourself. You can very well be the person that you are, the person that you're growing up and growing into, but you have to be a professional at all costs. You have to bite that tongue. You have to think through what you're going to say before you say it. You have to apologize. You have to be able to be authentic when someone's making a mistake, as well as when someone's doing the right thing. Because what you will find is that every aspect of your reactions, the things that you don't do, the things that you do, the looks on your faces, they're all communicating something about the type of person you are. And the more conscientious you are of those moments those behaviors, those inconsistencies, then you'll be better off. You'll be better at being able to educate children because you're very aware, and being aware is important. So when I think of it all, it's definitely about the professionalism, being the beacon for your individuality. Professionalism is pretty a standard, right? It's not your interpretation of your professionalism. Professionalism is professionalism, right? Who you are as you show up is where your individuality can live, so long as you're a professional in the work that you're doing and in your interactions, because that's what's going to last more than anything else.
Thanks for listening. For more amazing content and episode updates, be sure to subscribe to this podcast and the Dr. J's Office Hours YouTube channel. Also, if you like notes from this episode and more, head over to drjaewilliams.com and download Dr. J's Gems. The notes include a breakdown of the conversation, key concepts, and helpful resources exclusively for my Office Hours fam. So come through. You never know. You just might learn something new. And remember, you are what you've been waiting for. Talk to you soon. Peace.